So okay, what are some of the goals that you have for raising your son and making sure he becomes the best he can?
First off, I would start off with having a safe, constant household, um, letting him grow up in a world in which he doesn't have to want for things that he shouldn't have to want for, providing all his necessities and his needs. Um, After that, I would like to be able to provide him with the ability to get an early education. I would like to have him in a good school system, not just what's available. I'd like to be able to have pick and choose what school system I want to put him in. After that, I don't want him to have to go through what I went through with having to take out student loan after student loan after student loan to afford my education. I would like to put myself in a financial point at which he can essentially go to school off of my hard work and my dollar. And I'm not opposed to him having a job. That way, for his spending money, he can work for that, absolutely. And when time comes, responsibly, beer money, he can work for that beer money. But, daddy's not going to support his drinking. But, I don't want him to have to worry about where the tuition's going to come from. I don't want him to have to worry about who's going to pay for, his rent. I want him to know that that stuff is taken care of based off my proper decision and financial responsibilities.
Preparedness,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And those would be the things I see currently that I want to work for.
I totally agree. Like a lot of the things that I don't do now are so that I can do for him later.
Absolutely.
Um, even it's not even just financial. I worry that I might get hit by a bus or something,
Hmm.
and so for the last week and a half, I've been going to like the Goodwill and stuff,
Hmm.
and finding different books and literature, and I plan to read them all and record myself reading them, so that he could then hear me reading to him should something unforeseen happen to me.
It's funny you mentioned that. I was actually reading in a parent magazine the other day. They said that you need to record your voice for your child because one day you won't be there. And and exactly like you said, unforeseen circumstances. You get hit by a bus. Something happens and you end up passing from this earth far too early. They recommend doing that so that your son will always know your voice, and it provides a sense of security. And not only that, but later on in life, your kids hopefully will have kids. And what if the grandparent isn't there for those kids? They will at least know the voice of their grandparent, and that can provide a very nurturing experience for a child, or at least that's what the magazine said. You know.
Yeah, I want something that to be a great legacy, if you will, for not just my son, any other subsequent children I might have, and children that they themselves might have. I definitely am trying to create a great legacy for them to fall into. And like I say, I want my child to work and appreciate the value of a dollar. I don't want a spoiled child. I don't want a child who not saying that it's anything wrong. I want to be able to provide everything for them, but I want them to appreciate and understand what it's like to work and earn that money as
Well,
well.
there's a fine line in between providing your child and creating a brat, and that's my opinion. But hence the reason I said I want to provide the necessities. I want him to know tuition's paid for. I want him to know he's going to have that apartment that he needs. It may not be what he wants, but it's what he needs. But I'm not going to end up giving him a credit card to say, here's your food, go out and max it out at the bar, and then live off ramen noodles. No, you're going to eat the way you should eat, and then you can get a part-time job. And if you want to go downtown with your friends, feel free. I mean, I did it. I'm sure you did it, and that's the thing. Well, you should have. But that being said, he's going to understand the value of a dollar. I work very hard for my money, and he's going to always have to understand that. And that's something that when he has kids, I hope I raise him in a manner such that he appreciates what I've done, and then has the desire to pass it on to his kids.
For me, for me, roughly from high school on, it was all me. Like period. If I
Mm.
didn't make that money, I didn't have it. If I didn't provide myself with that amount of food, I didn't have it. Don't get me wrong. There were times when I had a meal plan and student loans, which helped me to survive. But from high school on, really, it was me. I got put out, and I was homeless for a while, and I did the whole thing on fringe couches for a couple of years, actually.
Hmm.
And since then, I actually turned around and helped other people. Like they stayed on my couch, and I helped them to
Pass
get a
it forward.
job. And yeah, um, and I imagine if I'm able to, if I become millionaire, I would own an apartment complex, and then I would tell my son, hey, you can stay at this apartment, but this is the rent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
you can work in the office, a guaranteed job. Should you take it, and earn the money to stay in that apartment by working here? Okay, so when you get up and say, hey, I want to go out and pay for this, well, how many extra hours did you put in past the requisite in order to make sure you pay for the apartment? I want you to know the difference between just having and earning. Because
Absolutely.
his mother, actually, she didn't know the value of a dollar when me and her met. Everything was, for the most part, provided for her if she did get it. There were many things that were denied to her, but when she actually had to start working, she turned to me and was like, oh, wow. Even like for the first 2 years that me and her were together, when I still pretty much paid for everything, she was like, I didn't understand how much effort goes into earning a dollar. And so, because she used to be like, oh, I want to go buy this, I want to go buy that. But once she started working, she's like, I don't need that. Like that costs too much. That's not about to happen.
It's funny you mentioned that, because growing up, my mom provided me with necessities and some of the things I wanted that I didn't necessarily have to need. But she always brought it to me like this, and I will do the same for my son. And she would say, Austin, I understand you want this pair of $150 Air Maxes. Your mom makes this much per hour. How many hours does your mom have to work to afford those Air Maxes?
And still pay other bills.
Exactly.
Do you want to flip on the light switch and get light? Do you want heat in this house? Do you want TV? Do you want internet? Do you want food?
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. It's once again the decisions she made determine if she can provide those things, and once again the decisions I make determine if I'll be able to provide those things, and it just continues. That's the way I see it, at least.
Yeah. So it's that very fine line, and how you do what you can do for the next generation. And I'm also very conscious about water conservation issues about the environment, because true, we can sit here and throw all our trash out and not care, because we'll be dead in 20, 30, 40 years. But our kids and their kids will still be here,
right,
suffering from the crap that we did.
Well, not only suffering, there's only so much damage we can do to this planet we call home before it's irreversible. And then all of a sudden, what we once called home is not fit to live. And then what happens to the human race then? What happens? And that is the question. If we don't take care of what we have, we reach a point in which we no longer have. And a lot of people don't believe that, and they think that this place we call Earth is just continuously going to provide, and it's just renewable. Fact of the matter is, Earth is not a renewable source. We can take responsibilities and we can make decisions that allow us to provide some of the things Earth has as renewable, but the clean ground we stand on is not renewable, my friend. And that's how I feel, at least.
That's true. Even the water you drink, every time it goes through the recycling processes, the added chemicals that they do, we can't get rid of half of those chemicals,
Absolutely.
the residue of them. And so
Absolutely.
You're taking more and more chemicals. Every time you think you're drinking clean water, you're not.
And every time, the water goes through the process of becoming what we call renewed clean water, what happens to the stuff they take out of that water? Where do we keep putting that stuff? And where we put that stuff, what damage does it do to the area that it's put? Its designated home,
Yeah. We're going to stop